Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I hope you will join me this October 24 in going on a single strike. My dream is that one day all singles around the world, maybe not just in the United States, but around the world would act in solidarity to strike industry wide for one day, just one day. Why? Because it would immediately be known what singles contribute, right? If one for one day you couldn't buy toilet paper at Walmart because there weren't enough people who were single who were stocking the shelves, your favorite restaurant had huge long lines, right? Or you go to the gas station and people are panic buying gas because they're worried that there's nobody to fix up the gas pumps to fill up the gas tanks underground, right? You're you get the idea, right? No matter what walk of life you're from, you're probably going to be affected if everybody who is single, which is a good 50% of the population in a lot of places around the world, went on strike for one day, right? It's a relatively non-violent event, right? Probably not too many people are going to get hurt from it, and so right? Especially if we make it known ahead of time, right? So if you have any emergency, you need medical supplies, you do it ahead of time. But for that one day, you get to notice that singles have some contribution in life, right? Because otherwise, it's very easy to dismiss them, right? See, I have to be careful when I read some of these things because it really makes my blood boil. I was reading an article about single bias at the workplace, and one really bright guy, he had a good idea, but he didn't really think it through. He said that we're all raised by parents, right? And so just like we have to pay school taxes so that we don't have a whole country full of stupid people, we should all contribute to our colleagues who are raising kids. Well, those kids have to come from somewhere. Don't you think a good number of years before you have to worry about raising kids, you need to go out and meet the right person, right? How come we don't if kids are the future, why don't we accommodate that part of the equation? There's a lot of things that have to line up for kids to happen, right? Not just taking care of them when you're changing their diapers or driving them to school, right? And I just hate to be the one to point this out. I thought it would be pretty obvious, right? Kids don't just happen, especially good kids, right? Don't just happen, right? I mean, certainly you could randomly have a kid with somebody on the street. The outcome's probably going to be a lot worse than if you didn't have time to take care of somebody, to take care of your kids when you're working, right? Get out of your bubble and think, right? Don't just get yourself immersed in what's going on. Now, yesterday I had a somewhat of an upsetting situation at work. The good news is that I have a lot of good backing nowadays, so it didn't bother me so much. One of my colleagues had complained to our dean about some odorous food that I was eating in the office. And the dean was very upset about it. I apologized to both the colleague and the dean, but in the back of my mind, I remember there were times when maybe I didn't complain to the dean, but I had a problem with somebody eating something I was allergic to near my desk. And certainly the dean wouldn't have gotten involved. I don't think he would entertain me complaining to him about it either. And my colleague laughed about it. Now, why? And my colleague who complained about the sushi I was eating, it doesn't sound like he even had an allergy. It just didn't smell right to him. Why is it that my colleague gets to complain about something that doesn't smell right? He's not going to get sick from it. In fact, it might have health benefits for him to smell it. Whereas, if I complain about something that will actually give me skin rashes, it's not okay. Right? Zoom out, right? Don't get yourself immersed in mainstream society. Zoom out and look at it for what it is, right? I thought I would point this out. Now, I apologize to the dean and to the student, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about uh, writing a short letter to the dean about how I feel about the situation. I got to clean it up a little bit, obviously. But hey, there are times when other people are actually eating things that will actually make me sick, right? That don't just smell bad to me, but, And so it's wrong for me to eat something that might smell bad to somebody, but I think it should be equal, if not more so, should be at least equally as wrong for somebody to eat something I'm allergic to in the adjunct office. Right? I'm thinking about this. I'll have to dress it up a little bit more, obviously. But this is something that, if you come from another planet, would instantly stick out like a sore thumb, right? Only in mainstream media, here in brainwashed society, right? It kind of reminds me, I was working at a tutoring center. I had a fourth grader who was left-handed. And in an ideal world, being left-handed would come with its own set of beauties, right? Imagine you were mining for bismuth in some kind of cave, and you needed somebody's left arm for some reason, right? The shape of that mine or whatever, the rock formation, maybe there was some bismuth that was stuck in some kind of diamond structure. You couldn't drill into it because it's diamond, right? And the way it's shaped, only a left arm could stick into it, right? In an ideal world, we need a few people to be left-handed to do things that would be more suited for that, right? But in modern society, a lot of things are designed to be very hostile to people who are left-handed, right? The furniture, the scissors, the tools, even the way our handwriting works, right? It's just so weird. Every time I have to tutor him, it reminded me of my situation of being single, right? In a perfect world, there are things that singles would be way better suited for, right? So, for example, someday when we have the technology to time travel into the future on a relativistic spaceship, right? Good luck getting somebody who has a family to come home to volunteer for that, right? We definitely need people who are single to make that journey for scientific research, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.